you do? Welcome to another edition of X-Feed. My name is The Schiller. Today, we're talking a little bit about the IP Superfan. We're going to be going over some headlines. Do you even care about it? Does it just be like, all right, we hear the term Web3 blockchain, we don't care about that. It's all going to be hidden in the background. Why does anybody care? A little bit of a concern about some scam comments on my YouTube channel. Had an interesting experience this morning regarding that. Shout out Mr. Snow. We'll get to the comment and how the world's an absolutely insane place, and the metaverse might be even more insane. Okay, so going over to Blockworks here, right? Look at some of the Web3 headlines right now. Axe throws and crypto wizards permissionless third is underway. Permissionless the third is underway. Web3 Watch. Lamborghinis are coming to the metaverse. Web3 Watch. Hippo-themed Moo Dang meme coin soared to $255 million market cap. Okay. So, like, class, hands up if you've cared about either of the headlines so far. All right? Okay. For those of you with your hands down, let's continue. Token 2049. A circus of crypto and commerce. Web3 Watch. Solana announces second Web3 phone. Web3 Watch. Friend.tech team steps back, relinquishing control of platform. All right, class. From the headlines so far, please raise your hand if you found any of them interesting. Let's keep going. One more step. Snapshot to launch on-chain voting on Starknet. Web3 Watch. EganLayer announces 86 million token airdrop for Season 2. Web3 Watch. Sony lends its name to Ethereum L2. Now, if I'm reading them, I'm like, okay, the Sony one's kind of got the namesake. I know there was drama around friend.tech. I think I ordered the Solana phone. Haven't heard anything about it for a while. Kind of interesting. I know about the Moo Dang meme. Do I really care? Lamborghini's coming in a Web3. That's cool, but axe throwing. Am I crazy? Or do the headlines just, I don't care. And I think we have this big problem where people just don't care about the same thing for the most part. Where somebody will message you and they'll try to talk about a collection, and at a point, everybody was like, cool, thanks for educating me, I appreciate it. Now, it's like, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't care. Like, do something to impress me. And the headlines that we're seeing, it's just not these like fun, cool, collected, whatever. It's just, I don't know. And is it a me problem where I should be caring about these headlines? Or is it just blah? You know, if it's blah, it's blah. But what's pretty weird is, speaking of Moo Dang, Paul Bearer Network posted this tweet saying, play off the grid has just flipped viral meme Moo Dang in both Google and YouTube interest. So Off the Grid is a new first-person shooter battle royale game. The other day, it was played by everyone. I was highlighting how I was shocked at people that I just traditionally follow on Twitch were playing the game. Now, there was the ninja character that was associated with it. They had Scump, Tim the Tatman, a lot of big names. And this was just yesterday. And as you can see, Off the Grid's in red here, and it's just kind of that parabolic spike. And I thought, maybe there is actual serious interest in this. That's awesome. Today I go on Twitch and not a single soul is playing it that was yesterday. Not a single soul was playing it that was the day before. So then we go into the questions of, okay, so was the day before everybody just having paid streams? And it got kind of, very viral because of that? And you had the different names that were doing it. Was there a genuine interest? Is there a genuine interest? And they're just not going back to it immediately same day. Obviously, we're early in day number 2 here, but I'm pretty surprised at the massive follow compared to yesterday and today. And this is one of the biggest things that's plagued Web3 is it feels that there is a game, a launch, something that happens. It'll get all the attention for like a week, maybe 2, and then it just doesn't really get brought up except for the hardcore people weeks after. And it's continuous how that continues. Continually. 0.25 ETH to 800 ETH in 5 years. Wow. Xcopy bought. We've been highlighting the different NFTs from Xcopy that have been selling. Somebody paid 0.25 ETH 5 years ago and now just sold it for 800 ETH. Listen, we might be crazy sometimes, but that person was a believer, and it, not bad, not bad. So yesterday, if you guys missed the stream, I would love to encourage you to go back and check it out. Again, it's on the live feed on YouTube or on X, previous broadcast. On Twitch, you can check the channel. But we rewatched the beginning, well, it was live, but at Permissionless, they had Polymos, Illuvium, and Futureverse. They were presenting together, and it didn't really seem like there was any kind of like actual cohesion between any of the three, except there was some kind of partnership, but they were both apparently having the stage for about 20 minutes each, and we got to see some showcasing of the games, the worlds, and what they're building. So I want to give kind of a quick reaction. Again, having a day to think about it. And this is that video. So right off the rip for the character, it feels kind of janky. I've seen a lot of people say that. It's been some of my concerns with seeing some of the trailers before regarding just the characters. I think a lot of the other characters look all right, but these like human ones, just the running feels like a little bit off. The graphical components of this look like it's very, very high quality from like everything you see around. I think like the interfaces is not too like in your face. It's nice that way, but the character movement does feel a little off. So this is Ake's Garage from Ready Player One. So this is where we see the IP coming in, where title of the stream, IP Superfan. I'm seeing a whole bunch of accounts starting to pop up that are trying to act as Ready Player One IP. I've seen something that was called like Parzival Gaming. There's a couple other people that had names similar to that. I mean, I wouldn't do that personally, but it's fun to see. And this is where it's showing the different world dynamics. So the Cool Cats IP, the vibe is going to be different than Ready Player One, and it definitely is. And this is what they're showcasing at Permissionless. So if you're at the event, you're able to go and actually try this in person. So this part feels like a little bit weird because it seems like it's just a bunch of random components around. But everything else has looked really good. But then this one, they say like, it types in like, make a bigger gun. And then there's a crate, and then they walk away. And I don't really understand why that's the choice. So that box gets made. I think I saw Bildo comment about how it takes like 30 seconds to 2 minutes for like the full rendering or something along those lines. So it's not instant. So it kind of makes sense when you see that in the prompt. Like obviously it's not going to, you know, have the video where it's sitting there for 30 seconds with nothing going on. Like I totally get that. But also for like the Promtopia here, it is interesting that they try to have like kind of a different style where you have the mushrooms, the balloon type vibe, especially over here. We have like wooden floors and then I guess bricks on this. Yo, Jason, what's going on? VR too. So I think it's been talked about that they are wanting to do VR, AR and all that kind of stuff at some point, obviously being for the future first. But yeah, it's not really pushed at all right now. So I wouldn't say like, oh yeah, they're absolutely going to do that. But I think at some point they'll have some kind of experiences with that. And there was also a leak before where Aaron commented about how they were working with someone who they had almost no followers, but he tagged this account and it was like a shush emote, like formerly at Oculus or working at Apple, formerly Oculus Meta. And I was like, okay, so is this something to do with Apple? Is this something to do with the Quest with Meta? Maybe at some point. But we had another sneak peek here, quick 30-second one. And this is for specifically open. So again, the world and vibrance of it looks really good, except for like, I feel like it's kind of odd that there's not really anything around here. But the buildings, I think, are really high quality. And then you see people, but it feels like a little bit empty from like a quick 30-second trailer. But I'm being a little bit picky. But you can also sign up for early access if you go to visitopen.game/early-access. Crypto ownership rates have surged. Look at how insane this chart is. Cryptocurrency ownership rates among American adults. So this is specifically in America, but in 2024, 40%. Well, if you go back just a few years to 2021, only 15% own any crypto. And we have these questions about adoption. I mean, that looks pretty good, to be honest. Not like a huge jump from the past 2 years, per se. In 2022, it actually grew more than 2023. So that just shows, I guess, kind of how, like, price sentiment works in a way. I guess you need that price appreciation to really get people in. So when we talk about the metaverse gaming and whatnot, I got a friend, Juice, who plays Throne and Liberty. It's this new massively multiplayer online role-playing game, MMORPG. Looks super interesting, but it kind of reminds me of the worlds that we're looking at within everything Web3, talking about the metaverse. There's these games out there. They have like an animal that's a literal flying island. So people like fly across and ride on it. I mean, I don't know if people just don't have imaginations anymore or they want to feel like they live in a fantasy life. But damn, some of these stuff, listen, that's pretty cool. You know what I mean? That's pretty cool. A look at the magic behind Cool Cats. Well, this is kind of interesting. So this is interesting. Not to say that twice, but for Cool Cats, the 2 episodes that they've had have been pretty quick, was my criticism on them. I thought they looked really good graphically and the voiceovers and whatnot, but they felt super, super quick. Like to the point that I think this behind the scenes is longer than all the episodes released so far combined. But here's the behind the scenes of what this all looks like, and it is really, really cool to see.
Chugs! Oh no, my lull. Chugs!
It's gonna be okay. I'm sure Chugs will be back in the saddle in no time.
So sick!
Because my dog has joined. I think he was jealous that we would be talking about cats and birds. So.
Animal friendly Zoom, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Going a little bit bigger with these next batches and doing sort of self-contained stuff and a big continuous story in these small bite-sized packages.
He's definitely sick. Poor little guy. Joe runs in. I heard about Chugs. How sick is he? So sick! Chugs is drinking milk through a crazy straw. Woo! It's sparkly milk shooting over all their cereal.
He's so sick! He's just so sick!
Hi, my name is Zeno Robinson, and I am the voice of Blue Cat.
Sorry, Chugs is actually taking a sick day.
I just wanted to bring him a lot of heart. I just wanted to bring him a lot of, like, comfort. Like, he just seemed like a really, like a regular, like, cool guy. So I just really wanted to bring, like, warmth to his voice and excitement. life and energy and heart and warmth to him and make him a really, really like likable guy, because he is.
I'll do one that reads into it, and then I might do a couple without. Okay. Here comes my midday lull. Hit me with that hot, juicy bean water. Chugs! Chugs!
Chugs? Chugs! Oh no, my lull.
Chugs!
Sorry, Chugs is actually taking a sick day.
Chugs is sick? Chugs is sick? What do you mean Chugs is sick?
It's gonna be okay. I'm sure Chugs will be back in the saddle in no time. I like the top of that. I'm sure Chugs will be back in the saddle in no time. It's gonna be okay. I'm sure Chugs will be back in the saddle in no time. Sorry, I'm actually laughing. I don't know. Yeah, I like those.
And we hear the rad teens going, Chugs, 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 Chugs. Back on Blue Cat. He's so sick. He's just so sick.
I heard about Chugs. How sick is he?
You almost expect them to be like, oh, he's just sick. But the idea that he's this amazing and they're like, he's going to get better. He's really going to get better.
Okay, I'm sure Chugs will be back in the saddle in no time.
And their emotions are even worse. I feel like it's just so unexpected. I think there's something so weird and something so funny that sets the show apart that we're willing to do the unexpected.
Hang on. So when you said
So sick. He's just so sick.
about my coffee,
Yeah.
Awesome. Amazing.
Oh, God. That was great. Yeah, I always feel so sad. We have to turn our mics off because I'm just laughing the entire time.
Okay, so everything that I just criticized, throw it out the window. The behind the scenes was actually awesome to see and gives you a little bit perspective of how much goes into it. And again, I thought the production of the entire thing was, but it just felt extraordinarily short. But seeing the behind the scenes, yo, I love it. Actually love it. That was sweet. Yo, Brumachowski, what's going on? Yo, did you see? I clipped you all the Kesha stream points today if you didn't see. Nunu was picked in jungle. Behind the brew. Unbelievable. So, Gordon highlighting Apechain, talking about all the different things that are coming for Apechain so far. And remember, the narratives, the insights, the, oh my goodness, what is going on everywhere. We look at the top 100 coins, the top 200 coins, and a lot of the time we have questions of what exactly is all this, why the hell is their value, etc. So, for what's coming for Apechain, Made by Apes, which encompasses 400 plus businesses, is moving to Apechain. Other side, ODK is going to allow creators to build out their own experiences in the metaverse with all the hard stuff you figured out for we figured out for you. Make your own storefronts, NFTs, games, skill-based wagering, etc. All in Apechain. Discovery of apps is going to be as easy as finding new games on Steam. This is huge because I mean, for right now, if you are in Web3, everything's kind of siloed off to the side. I noticed that MetaMask made a post the other day where they said, hey, if you go like into our app, we have all of the applications you can kind of go through on a library. Generally speaking, I feel you have to go out and learn where the applications are, get educated on something. It'd be really cool if Apechain is able to kind of put those apps more at the forefront where it's easier to find, etc. A portal to fund your wallet from any EVM chain or even Apple Pay on board with one easy click. Yuga's games and experiences like her latest project with Faraway, Dookie Dash, which snagged the top 5 game spot on the App Store. Top Trader, where again, it's the one that you have to put like 100x leverage or something crazy for it. Honestly, I think Apechain is going to onboard so many people to this space in the coming year. If you're building hot shit, hit up OX Quit and let's see if Yuga can help. And also Quit apparently getting hired to be like the lead of blockchain for Yuga and Apechain. And yeah, awesome to hear. An underrated aspect of a great game is the music and soundtrack of the game. From Zelda to Halo, Final Fantasy to Tony Hawk Pro Skater. What a fire genre. Industry, game series, you name it. truest. It really does make the experience that much better and creates a connection and a bond with you. I feel like it's one of those like nostalgic pieces as well that you get to really hit on. So Adam had a really kind of cool insight. He went to the RWA day at Permissionless. If you've never gone to a crypto conference before, let me give you a little bit of a TLDR. So generally, there is a main event that's hosted. It's your Permissionless, your NFT NYC, Ape Fest, etc. That's kind of like the main ordeal. And then all of the side collections, and when I mean side collections, I'm talking about for NFT NYC, a side collection would be basically any NFT ever in existence. Because they would be interested in that. Now, not every NFT ever existed would have an audience to be able to host a side event, but ones that are big enough host, whether it be going to a bar, a restaurant, free drinks, you get to meet people that are interested in the same thing as you, and it saves these side collections from putting out an insane amount of money because it's a side event that they can kind of just be like, hey, you know, earlier in the day on this day, later in the day on that one, if you want to skip an event, we'll be over here. And for Permissionless, there was an RWA day that was done by rwa.world, who's creating a database, as we just talked about a second ago, where, you know, sometimes it's harder to find different applications. RWA World is building out an entire database of all of these legitimate RWA platforms to be able to buy real world assets on chain. And so this guy went to that event, and this is kind of his recap of it.
All right, we're doing our walk and talk this morning from downtown Salt Lake City. We're here for Permissionless. I'm actually walking next to the Delta Center on John Stockton Way, which is hands down my least favorite name for a street ever, growing up a Houston Rockets fan. But anyway, I was here yesterday for the RWA Day, Real World Asset, or actually it was Real World Adoption Day, put on by John and Tyler, and I think it was a phenomenal event. It's maybe the best crypto side event I've ever been to, and the reason was because they didn't just have people get up there on panels talking about prices or talking about how awesome we all are. They actually had people get up on stage and show us what they were building and show us what they were doing, and so much of it was around adoption and real assets. Some of the interesting cases I saw, the group that got funded by Marathon, and I apologize, I don't remember the name of the company that's doing it, but they're tokenizing. It's a tokenization project. The first thing they're doing is tokenizing whiskey barrels, but they're, instead of just putting it on Ethereum or Solana or one of the L2s, they're actually putting it on the Bitcoin blockchain. So I thought that one was really interesting. There was one about tokenizing reinsurance, so being able to put reinsurance into portfolios. Of course, there was some trade finance talk, which I think talked about yesterday, or I talked about Huma Finance. So it was really interesting to hear what companies' projects are actually doing. And you might go, okay, well, those are, you know, nice and cute little niche projects. But what it comes down to is the fact that this is the beginning, and these are going to be assets. These are going to be investments that are going to be in people's portfolios. So whether you're a financial advisor, CPA, attorney, whether you're an investor, whatever it might be, this is where trillions and trillions and trillions, or as they said, quadrillions of dollars are. It's taking assets like, I've talked about real estate, but reinsurance, whiskey barrels, luxury goods. It's taking all sorts of other investments that maybe most people did not have access to before because it was too costly. Things like, I've said before, trade finance, private credit, insurance. It was too costly, it didn't make sense, it was too inefficient. And now we're taking the efficiencies that blockchain tech can give us and creating some of those financial instruments, creating some of those investments. And again, they're kind of niche right now, things like whiskey barrels, but that's where we have to experiment, and that's where we're going to see the growth in tokenization, real world assets. I've said before, we have the likes of BlackRock and Franklin Templeton, who have already tokenized funds, is going to get more institutions into tokenization, understanding custody, understanding the transparency that's going to come with this level of tokenization, I think is so key. And so I was so excited for yesterday. It was such a great way to start off time here.
So again, mentions kind of experimenting in there amongst other things, but also highlighting this at the beginning. And we hate the buzzword that everybody says, we're early. This is the party's just getting started. All this kind of verbiage. But the adoption is happening at different speeds through everything, but it is happening. So this is pretty crazy. If you're out there trying to make a guild, what do you do if you've actually made a whole house of players and then you get flagged for multi-accounting because you're all under the same roof? That's what I call tough. Joseph Rust, our Web3 gaming hub was flagged for multi-accounting in the latest Nyan Heroes airdrop campaign. Even though we played almost all matches together, I tried explaining about the hub, but they just said, you're banned, bye. What can I do to prevent this from happening in future played airdrop campaigns? The players got really frustrated with that, and you can see that there is a whole bunch of players out there playing, and I mean, what exactly do you do? There's all these questions about Web3 being a safe haven, breaking away from the system, having its own system, decentralization. But I mean, for like these big campaigns, if something like this happens, I mean, does the narrative kind of get chalked a little bit? Or you say, oh, maybe it's bad actors. Well, when for sure it's not. They're all playing, just under the same roof. Kind of odd. Justin, crypto payments officially back on Stripe. Stripe now supports stablecoin payments in 150 countries. Jeez. Allowing users to pay with USDC and US businesses to receive USD. A little bit of an option for you. Blocks made this post about NFT projects with diamond hands. Kind of nuts. Apparently, Fluff World 84% haven't sold in the past year. Cool Cats and then Clone X behind that. The ones that have sold the most out of these collections so far, Milady and Pudgy with Doodles and then Azuki. But again, most of these people holding, most of the holders, holding like over 50% for most of the chart. I mean, listen, guys, the NFT holders, listen, we're out here, we're holding true. When you compare these, it's insane. And also for Pudgies, they have like, what, 1,000 plus? Less than all these other ones, where like Clone X, the Clone X one is like the actual what in the hell is going on. It's got 20,000 collection size with 72% holding the past year. That's dedication. A little bit of artifact. Now, I was debating playing this, but it's like 8 minutes. I don't know if it's worth going through the entire thing, but one of the big quotes from this is SEC Commissioner Mark Uyeda says, our policy and our approach over the last several years have just been really a disaster for the whole industry, talking about crypto. And within this, it's a very candid, open conversation where he's like, well, a lot of the things are going to depend on like who gets elected. They were talking about who was the guy that's from like Robinhood that might be the replacement for Gary Gensler, depending on who gets in. And it was being like very open to like the point that it felt like he was on the side of like crypto, where there's been a lot of like negativity associated with crypto, right? But this guy who's apparently an SEC commissioner was praising it, but also saying there's a lot of work to do, a lot of things we need to sort out, etc. All right, Emergence saying hello to round 2 of their partners for their campaign. Look at all these games. We got Wanderers, My Pet Hooligan, Oni Force, Neo Tokyo, Pudgy Penguins, The Beacon, Blast Royale, Blade of God. Some of these you probably haven't heard of, myself included. Like, what in the hell is Clashed Game? Never heard of it. But are all these collections building on Emergence? So I'm pretty sure Emergence is part of that metaverse standard. I'll say it, we're early, and I'm excited to see what comes out of this. Listen, I don't know if Brew Michalski's still here, Mr. Hooner, but if you're trying to pick up a brew out there, they are shipping the BAPE X Board Brewing Company beer. So if I was to let you guess for a momentary, how much do you think a pack of 4 of these beers costs? A pack of 4 in US dollars. What are we thinking? We'll look it up. Don't worry. Of course we'll look it up. $40. You can't see on the side. Oh, my God. There we go. $40. Listen, luxury goods are getting expensive. Sheesh. Zagabond, founder of Azuki. NFTs as a way to bootstrap your Web 2 company is dead. True. NFTs as a way to grow your community and co-create a Web 3 empire is more alive than ever. I still think about the whole community. We say it's a buzzword, but I think there is a very strong human element of wanting to feel connected to something. Now, for myself, I'm trying to reflect and think, like, when I finished college, most of my friends were, like, not local. So I ended up making, like, a lot of friends online, obviously doing the streams, et cetera, et cetera. Obviously making friends, like, in person. But there wasn't really anybody that, like, I hung out with every day, apart from, you know, messaging online. And I think generally the whole world is vying for something to feel they're a part of. And do these Web3 communities really bring it out? Whether you're interested in racing, cars, certain sports teams, certain games. I think everybody finds a community eventually online, depending on how, like, chronically online they are. Assuming they do kind of jump online and you know, venture out on the interwebs. But I don't know. Cautiously optimistic. So Ubisoft, they're revealing their release date for the Champion Tactics NFT game. And there was an article that was posted before explaining what you need to know about this. And this is Ubisoft, so it's a rather big studio. So let's kind of just jump through this super quick. It's no secret that Ubisoft has been experimenting with NFTs and blockchain tech. Trying to zoom in, that didn't work at all. Goodness. From its early Ghost Recon NFTs to releasing NFTs based on its quirky Rabbids IP and Assassin's Creed smart collectibles, Ubisoft has continued to explore blockchain gaming. Now there's Champions Tactics. Champions Tactics makes a chapter in Ubisoft's crypto plans, marks a chapter. It's the studio's first original Web3 game, meaning that it's being developed from scratch with NFTs front and center. Here's everything you need to know. So what is the game? Grimoria Chronicles was first announced in late June of 2023. It builds as a player versus player tactical RPG. Champions Tactics has been marketed with a gothic dark fantasy aesthetic and has figurine-like characters. Okay. How does the game use NFTs and blockchain? Champions Tactics released Ethereum NFTs called Warlords that act as PFP NFTs for collectors. Warlord NFT art can be applied to the collector's in-game profile and customize it. Yo, do they? Yeah, I feel like I've seen these before. Why do they go for just pixel art? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Not a huge fan of the way those look. I mean, I like pixel art, but those, it's going to be a no for me, dog. Warlord NFT collectors will be granted early access to buy up to 5 of the game's playable NFT characters known as champions for free. So Ubisoft will be releasing the game characters as collectible NFTs and also offering in-game profile avatars as NFTs. The game itself will use the Oasis blockchain. Oasis is a gaming-centric chain that has won favor by traditional video game publishers like Sega, Bandai Namco, Com2 US, and more. And I remember hearing about Oasis blockchain a while ago. This is the first time that it's been brought up recently. So what are the Warlord NFTs? Ubisoft released the Warlord collection as a free Ethereum NFT mint in December of 2023. The NFTs, which depict pixelated fantasy characters, were all claimed within about 20 minutes. A total of 9,999 Warlord NFTs were ultimately created, with 8,000 given out during that mint. Another 1,000 saved for the Oasis community, and 999 further NFTs saved by Ubisoft for marketing efforts such as giveaways. Guys, why in the world are we still doing the exact 10,000 collections? I feel like we're beyond that aspect of 10,000. One of the predictions that I made a while ago, I have no idea what stream this was, but I was talking about how I think that the majority of NFTs and digital assets that we see moving forward from these brands are generally more focused on mass adoption where you don't have those limited quantities. It's cool that they have that to try to garner interest, have people that are minting. Obviously, it went out 20 minutes, but they said it was free. I just think that we wanting to kind of have like an abundance of things. Sure, you can have your collectability, you can have your moments of something that's smaller, but I don't think that it makes sense to do 10,000 collections in this day and age. Now, I might be crazy for that take, but I'm just, throwing it out there. Now, final thing to mention on here, and then we're going to get skedaddling, is shout out to Fam Fun Fin Free. Wow, what a name for that. And they were highlighting that there was a scam seed phrase in the comment. Now, I've gotten a ton of these, right? Like, it's not new. Obviously, when you're reading them, you might not be aware because I don't really have like a whole lot of comments. But if you go to like Elio Trades, Alex Becker, some of these like actual big YouTubers, they have just like like 50+% of the comments are all like these scams, and it's really easily recognized. But as an example, on this one, this Hibber Tisdale account, which is fake, says, thanks for the breakdown. A bit off topic, but I wanted to ask, my OKX wallet holds some USDT. And I have the seed phrase. They literally type out their entire seed phrase, which is like, obviously, nobody's going to do that. Could you explain how to move them to Binance? And FanFundry is saying, delete your comment. Everyone can now steal your funds. But like, that's fake. But their original comment, I did some digging to help the guy, but this is a scammer who purposefully has shared this seed phrase and to look dumb to farm Tron that is needed for the gas fee by people who try to steal it. If you send in Tron, it will be moved out directly, so you lose it and you still don't have the USDT. So yeah, people are going to try to get the USDT. They try to fund the wallet to be able to move it. That gets yanked immediately because there's bots. Yo, appreciate you highlighting that and digging into that. Hopefully there was nothing bad that happened towards you in that regard. But yeah, always be super vigilant. Don't trust basically any emails. There is no reason to ever click a link from an email unless you've actively clicked on it like moments before, to the point of like resetting your password or going to a site to activate something. And it's like, hey, we need a code from your email. Only do any of those things if you yourself has instigated that email. Because there's a lot of fake things right now, even ones you'd be like, okay, I don't think I signed up my certain email for anything to do with this game. You'll get an email from it and you'll be like, wow, maybe this is for me. Nah, they're just trying to fish everybody. Just be super, super vigilant. But anyway, that's it for this edition of XFeed. Jason, Hunar, anybody watching live afterwards, thank you so much for tuning on in. Don't forget